creativity's in sales.
It's sales, design, and production.
Yeah.
And the idea that you can somehow take production and offshore it, and leave yourself a bit of sales, and our design doesn't matter anyway because we just do the same as we did last week. It's just crackers.
Yeah.
We've got to get our head around a different way of doing things. We've got to get our head around that it's integrative and not differentiated.
Yeah.
And there's a risk to it in terms, we see it at the moment in these difficult times where there's all sorts of dependencies, whether it be on chips, for instance. Chips are made in Taiwan, they're designed in America. Well, we've just introduced a dependency now, where now Taiwan's a critical place. The Chinese are saying, this is part of us. I don't want to go into the politics of it all, but it's a dependency, and it's an important dependency. You can't ignore it.
Yeah, but
that's right.
Fractal working isn't just fiddling around the edges, is it?
No.
Fractal working is going to make a huge difference because the turnover per head in your company, which we talked about ages ago now, that's gone up from, was it 30 or 40k per head? 50k, and it's now something like 200.
Well, it's much more than that, but yeah. The fact is, it's gone up from, let's say it's gone up 500% in round terms.
So from about 50 to about 250 £1,000
per even
head,
now it's well in excess of that. But go with these figures because there's such a shift.
Yeah, because if we were suggesting something that will save 10%, we still can't compete with the Chinese.
No.
But if we can be 5 times as productive, then we just about can.
So I reckon. Yes. So Henry Ford invented this. I'm not sure he invented it, by the way, but he introduced the moving production line into automotive manufacture, and he reduced the price of cars enormously by reducing its cost. So if you compare Henry Ford's production line to a contemporary production line which wasn't moving, his benefit was 9 to 1. His cars took 9 times less time.
A ninth of the time.
A ninth of the time to make than his competitors.
Is that lead time or is that hours worked?
That was hours to assemble.
Right, actual hours worked. Wow.
So that was a transformative thing, and that's why it took off. If you look at the Toyota production system that Toyota introduced, the lean system, into their car manufacturing to compete with folks like Henry Ford in the States, but in smaller volumes, their result and the result of their endeavours eventually was a 9-fold increase as well.
Again, another 9 on top of Henry Ford.
So I'm not sure 5-fold is quite enough. And our experience at work is it's more than 5.
Yes.
Yeah, because you're getting as well as getting more turnover per head, you're getting more creativity, better delivery on time.
So more profitability.
More efficient, flexibility and resilience as well. So you're getting a whole load of other things apart from just fewer people involved in the process.
Yeah.
To get the same turnover.
But it's the same sort of scale of improvement you experience from going from working at the university to being a consultant on your own.
Yes. Well, I work probably a bit harder than I did, but then I probably get paid 9 times as much. It's back to that times 9 figure for the same hours of work. So that's a kind of a productivity.
And you never want to go back because of that. That scale is not a 10%.
Yeah.
It's not like a different quality Christmas present. It's life changing.
And by the way, that 9 isn't cheating by talking about video revenues. That's just based on me driving around the country doing training courses.
So that's like for like.
Yeah, it's like for like. Yeah. Until last year, I was doing 150 days, charging about probably 1,200 quid a day or something like that. So it's about 250 grand.
Mm-hmm.
And I was on 22 at the university. Mm-hmm. Even though I was bringing in 100, I was on 22 because the other 80 went on all the admin costs.
Correct.
And all the people I didn't need.
Frippery.
I clearly don't need because I don't have any of them now. So now I'm doing more days, 50% more days, but at a higher price. But I'm also keeping all of the money rather than keeping a small amount of the money. So the total is times 10, not even counting the videos I've been making as well. So there's a huge difference between my kind of fractal way of working and the way of just being part of a great big machine that I also hated being in.
Yes.
And there was no creativity. You couldn't argue. You couldn't change it. It was just the system.